Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I have a tutorial. I'm going to be showing you this eye look and actually the entire face using the Natasha Denona Bronze Collection. I'm using both the eyeshadow palette and the cheek palette. I have been absolutely loving the Bronze Collection. I knew I would, but I'm actually surprised by how much I love all of the products in this collection. They're all really beautiful. The cheek palette I was not expecting to be as excited about, and I really love it. So today we're going to be doing this look. It's this nice kind of smoky bronze cat eye. I love a good old-fashioned cat eye. I use this same kind of look with a lot of different palettes. It's really easy to follow. I am not a makeup artist by any stretch of the imagination, so I promise we're going to go step by step. It's going to be easy to follow. It's not going to be confusing. I will be doing one of my eyes in real time so that you can see each step, the actual amount of time it takes rather than just kind of sped up, because sometimes it's really hard for me to follow tutorials when they're sped up. So the eye look will be done kind of step by step in actual time. Before we get into the tutorial, if you would, make sure that you are subscribed. It's one click. It doesn't cost any money, and it makes my heart really, really happy. You'll be able to see videos when I post them, and you'll also be able to enter my monthly giveaways. I generally give away a $250 Sephora gift card every month here on my YouTube channel. So today, since I'm gonna be going for this really defined cat eye, I'm actually gonna be using tape. Oh my God, I just touched something fluffy and it scared me. I think it's a toy. It's a brush. Oh my God. My foot just touched something soft and fluffy, and I really was nervous because I don't have any animals here. Okay, so normally I don't start with my eyes. I normally just do my face makeup first, but today we're going to be using this tape because I want a really defined kind of cat eye, and for me this is the only way I can get like a really defined one. I know my limits, so there we go. I'm gonna do this tutorial, like I'm gonna do everything in real time so that you can actually see how it gets blended out and all those things. I think that's, for me, that's the most helpful, so hopefully that's gonna work for you guys too. All right, so I'm picking up Beach. This is a tapered blending brush. It's an E40 from Sigma. I start by laying it down right here on this outer corner, because that's where I want the most pigmentation in this look, is right there at that, angle, that cat eye. So I'm gonna lay it down there, and then I'm gonna just blend it into the crease. I'm keeping everything very low in this look because I want it to be very like this rather than blown up. So you'll just notice that everything is gonna be very much kept, tight into the crease. Now, I have a very deep crease. Oh man, I almost poked myself in the eyeball. I have a very deep crease, so if you don't, you may have to use brushes that are a little more defined than the ones that I'm using. But since my crease is pretty defined, these are the brushes that work for me. All right. I'm darkening things up a little bit so you can hopefully see better. All right, so I'm going to take an E25. This is a blending brush from Sigma. It's just like your run-of-the-mill crease blending brush. I'm going to pick up Suntan on this brush, and I'm going to go over exactly where I just put down that first color. So again, I put it down on the edge first because I kind of just follow the angle of the tape because that's where I want the most pigmentation, and then I'm gonna just blend it into the crease, again keeping it low, keeping it really tight into the crease. This is the step that I was speaking of, that if your crease is not really as deep or defined as mine is, you may need a smaller, a more tapered brush, just so that it's going to be more defined and that you're gonna kind of be able to keep it low and keep it kind of, you can see on this eye, we don't really want it blown up into the crease. We're just keeping everything very low. All right, so next, again, same brush, and we're gonna pick up Magma. And again, the same exact step, going over exactly where we just put that previous shade, laying it down on the outer corner first, and then blending it into the crease, but making sure we're keeping it really low because we don't want it to really go up too high. We just want to keep everything elongated rather than, elongated this way rather than blown up. And you can see these shadows blend really, really well. These are just very nice shadows. All these mattes are very smooth, which I like because when mattes are powdery and patchy, it is no fun. Okay, I'm now going to take a MAC 217. It's very similar to that E25 from Sigma that we were just using, but the thing is I don't want to dirty that brush up because I'm going to need it in a second. So what I'm doing is taking this 217 and I've put some deep dive on it. That is the dark eggplant shade, and I'm going to go right along that tape, pulling it into the lash line kind of at this angle. I'm not pulling this into the crease with this brush. I'm just laying it down here, right here on like this outer little V along the tape, pulling it into the lash line. I deposit it with this brush, and then I'm gonna go back and get that E25 that I was using for the other colors, and I'm gonna use it to blend that. Now when I blend this one, you'll see I'm just doing like these sweeping motions in one direction. I'm not going back and forth. I'm just trying to kind of soften this up as far as right here. On the outer edge, it's gonna be pretty defined, and that's how we like it. But as it comes inside, I really like it to kind of like blend out and look really nice. I want just a little bit more, so I'm just gonna pick up a little bit more with the MAC 217, put it here, and then I'm gonna use this other one to blend it in the same motion. So just blend, 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 and I will blend a little bit right here on this outer part of the crease. But as you can see, I just go in one direction. As you can see, I just go in one direction because I just want it to be really concentrated on the outer edge, and really all I'm doing is just trying to make it where it's not a harsh line. So right here it just needs a little bit extra, so here I will, so right here it just needs a little bit extra blending, so right here just in this area I will blend in two directions, but I'm not moving my brush any further in. I'm just trying to soften up that little edge. Happy. I'm just gonna take a flat shader brush now. I'm gonna spray some setting spray on it. I'm just using one from Pacifica, I think is the name of it. Yeah, this one from Pacifica. This Crystal Dew. You can use any setting spray. It's not really particularly important which one. And I'm going to pick up the color Silk, which is just so beautiful. It's a really pretty foiled shadow. So I'm picking that up, and then I'm going to just tap it in on this first half of the eye. And I'm really just patting it on. I'm not sweeping or anything, because with this kind of like foiled shadow, if you just go sweeping, I find that I don't really like the way that it lays a lot. And I'm following like the actual shape of my eye. So my eye to the crease, like the lid, is very small right here. And then I get a little bit more space towards the middle. So I'm just following my eye shape and just focusing on the inner half of my lid. So now that I have that down, I'm gonna pick up the E25 brush that has kind of all those different little shades on it that I've been blending into the eye, and I'm just gonna kind of tap along the middle to kind of just make sure there's no harsh line. And then I'll take that same brush and I'll kind of just make sure that I don't have any harsh lines, just kind of blend any little areas that might need it. Sometimes it's hard for me to see because these lash extensions, but I feel like they look pretty even and I'm happy. So then we'll peel this off and we're done with this part of the eye look. All right, so the tape is off and we're done with the upper lid. I'm gonna put on foundation and concealer, and then we're gonna finish off the bottom lid, the lower lid, and we're going to also use the cheek palette. All right, so I just used a glowy primer. This is the Glow Screen from Supergoop. I've spoken about this in a couple videos and I actually really like it. It's a primer and a sunscreen all in one, and it is Very nice and glowy, so I really like that. And then on my face, I'm gonna be using the L'Oreal Pro Glow. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this. I can't believe I didn't try it until this year. So many good things to say about it. I just feel like it's such a good, nice, natural skin finish. And it's summer, so I really like to look, you know, nice and radiant. I think I like to look nice and radiant year round, but, you know, especially in summer. I washed my brushes with baby shampoo yesterday and they smell like Johnson's & Johnson's, which makes me so happy because I love that smell. All right, for concealer, I'm gonna be using this Giorgio Armani concealer. I got this, oh my gosh, forever ago, not forever ago, but like a couple months ago, probably back in March I got this. And I still haven't used it up. I haven't used it very much because I was so annoyed with how small it turned out to be because it's $40 and it's like the tiniest little thing you've ever seen in your life. And I was so unhappy with how small it was that I just was like, oh, well, I'm not using that. And now I kind of want to use it up. It has a really nice finish. It's beautiful, but it's just like way crazy expensive. I love that my camera is focused on this little brush. So, I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eye because there's not a lot of fallout with these shadows. There's really very minimal fallout. And I like to go ahead and have that base for when I do smoke out the lower lash line. I like to just have a little bitty base there so that everything blends really smoothly. So I'm just setting with my favorite under eye setting powder, which is the Hourglass Veil. I'm also going to contour my nose. This is the only part that I'm going to use a different product than the cheek products for. I'm just using the Fenty Cream Bronzer in Macchiato. I just don't like to contour my nose with anything that has a shimmer. And since the Natasha Denona bronzer in this collection does have a shimmer to it, I'm not going to use it on my nose contour. All right, to finish up the eye look, I'm taking this Marc Jacobs eyeliner. This is the color Sunset. It's like a copper bronze. I'm gonna put this in the waterline. I just don't want something too dark in there. I want to keep it kind of like metallic and along with these coppers and bronze tones. I don't want to like make it too dark because I am gonna put that deep dive shade along the lower lash line. So I kind of like to keep the waterline. Sometimes I like to keep it bright. I don't ever go in with black. Sometimes I do dark brown, but more often than not, I prefer not to do that. So now I'm gonna take this like really small smudger brush. It's like very super defined. And I'm gonna take the color Deep Dive. That's that dark eggplant that's in the palette. And I'm gonna just go along right at the, like right up close on the lower lash line. I'm not going into my waterline. I'm just going really tight along the lash line. And I'm basically just gonna go right to like the edge of, is it called the iris? The colored part of your eye? Yes, the iris. I'm going right to the edge of like the iris, right where the iris starts. So it's really just like the outer third of my eye is where I'm going right there. And that's as far in as I'm gonna go with that shade. And again, trying to keep it really tight to the lower lash line. I'll do it again on this side. You can just see just the very outer third, stopping right where the colored part of my eye starts. And then I do make sure it's like connected with the color on the top. All right, now I'm gonna take a pencil brush and I'm gonna take the color Suntan. That was kind of like the medium color that we used. So I'm gonna take that and I'm going to start right here, like right where that ended. I'm going to start blending. I'm first gonna blend up towards here and I'm just gonna slowly keep going further and further in as I blend. I really like a blown out lash line if I want to do something a little more glam. So this is what I'm doing. I'm sorry, I'm making such funny faces. I'm basically just going like little by little. I'm moving in further and further until I'm all the way across. It's just a really easy way to get a good gradient along the lower lash line. And by keeping it darkest at the corner, you're just keeping that elongated shape that I was going for. Bam. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Oh, I do my face like this, just FYI, because it makes everything flat, which makes it easier to blend. All right, that part is done. Now, I'm gonna take a flat, like any kind of flat eyeshadow brush, and this palette does not have an inner corner highlight. I kind of talked about that in my review of it, but the cheek palette does, and you could just use any highlight. I'm gonna use the one from the cheek palette, and I'm just gonna pick up a little bit on, this is like a, oh my gosh, a brush I've had forever. I'm not going to mention the name because I don't support the company, but just any kind of flat, like a concealer brush, a flat shader brush, anything will work, anything that's clean. And I'm just going to do like a little bitty inner eye highlight. And I'm not like blowing this out or anything, I just barely want it there, just to like brighten up a tiny bit. Any kind of flat defined brush. I honestly think this one is actually maybe a concealer brush. I'm not sure. You can also just use your pinky finger too. Like that would work as well. But I'm not that talented or dainty with my pinky fingers, so I usually just use a brush for that. All right, I am gonna brush out my lash extensions that I'm so happy to have again. They're like shedding though. It's because I just got a fill yesterday, so they're shedding. They always shed for like the first day. I'm gonna put on some lower lash mascara. I've talked about this mascara before. It is the Lancome Definicils. I really like this mascara because it is water-based, so it is just easier on my lash extensions. Because obviously I blink, so it does come in contact with my lash extensions. I don't put mascara on my lash extensions. It's not good for them. It gets gunky and gross, and to be honest, lash extensions, I have them because I don't want to have to fiddle with mascara really, so would defeat the purpose. So I just put mascara on my bottom lashes unless my lashes have a particularly very bad week or something and they just look like kind of empty, or if there's some holes. Lash extensions, sometimes they can shed when your allergies are acting up. My allergies are really bad this time of year. They've been really bad for like 2 months. They're just really being a pain in the butt. I actually had to go to the ENT. I'm just blending right here because it was like a little bit clunky looking. I had to go to the ENT because I was having these terrible headaches, sinus headaches, and it just turned out that it's allergies. There's like not a sinus infection, no buildup or anything like that. It's literally just my allergies giving me these nasty headaches. They prescribed me an allergy medicine, like an allergy nasal spray, a prescription strength one, and my headaches are gone. So thanks be to God for that. All right, now we're gonna go with the cheek palette from Natasha Denona. I have to be honest, I like this so much more than I expected. It is really, really pretty. So I'm just gonna go in with the Bowd's Cream Blush first, and I'm using just my favorite normal blush brush for this, which is an IT Cosmetics brush. It's an IT Cosmetics, what is it, 227. So I'm just gonna use my favorite one for this. And the way I'm actually gonna use this is kind of like as a blush, but I'm gonna drape it. So that just means I'm gonna first start on the apples of my cheeks, kind of like go in like a little circle to define those, pull it up towards my cheekbones, but I'm also gonna kind of like bring it down into like where I would normally do like a contour just at the top. So I'm just kind of draping it a little bit. I really just like this blush for this technique. It's kind of actually like a very 80s thing that people used to do, which was like they would use their blush as a bronzer. So I'm almost kind of doing that as well. I am gonna also use the bronzer that is in here, but I just want to use this blush that way. So I'm gonna do that on the other side as well. I'm just also gonna take a little bit of this blush and I put it right over my brow. I don't know, I just feel like that ties everything together, so I almost always do that. All right, now I'm gonna take the bronze from this palette, which is, again, this is a shimmer bronze. All right, now I'm gonna take the bronze from this palette. It is a shimmery bronze, but I kind of really like it for this, so I'm gonna just bronze up my whole face. I'm gonna use it though where I would generally do like a contour. I've tried it this way twice now with this palette, and I really like the way that it looks. I feel like it looks really just sun-kissed and bronzy, really pretty for summer. So I'm literally going along my hairline where I would just normally do kind of my contour. I do my nose a little bit. Not like a ton, but a little bit. And also down along here. I don't always use shimmery bronzers this way, but this one I actually have really enjoyed how it looks when I do this. So I deposited a little too much right here, so I'm just taking my foundation brush and blending this bronzer into my hairline. I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Because, listen, I was watching someone, who was it? Jessica Braun? I can't remember what video it was or when it was. I think it was just recently, like the last day or two. And she was talking about that she had been noticing that her cream bronzer, like when she was in the car and stuff, she'd been noticing she hadn't like blended it really well into the hairline. So now I'm just like really paranoid about my stuff not being blended into my hairline, especially because obviously I self-tan. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is really well blended and I feel happy with it. So I like this cheek palette from Natasha Denona a lot better than I thought I would. I'm gonna take the Super Glow Nude and I'm just gonna go over the high points of my face. This works when I'm self-tanned, which honestly I'm almost always self-tanned. I don't actually ever really skip self-tanning, even in the winter. But this, I feel like this one shade, this Super Glow Nude, I feel like I definitely need to be doing a bronzy look to use it as a highlighter because it is a little, just a touch darker than what I normally use for a highlighter. I think it really works for this look, but if I was doing like a cool toned look or just, you know, my everyday, day-to-day makeup and it wasn't just super bronzed out, I probably wouldn't use this as a highlight just because it is a little bit, just a touch too dark for me for other looks. All right, let's get something on my lips because I feel really creepy with them not having anything on them. So I'm gonna line my lips using like a pinky neutral shade. This is shade 3 from Victoria Beckham Beauty. I just want to have something that's not very warm because the rest of the look is very warm, and I'm going to use one of the glosses from the collection. So I want something that's just going to add a little bit of kind of a rose pink tone. So that's why I'm using this particular lip liner. Also, I love this lip liner. I have the most difficult lip line because I have a very pronounced, what is it, vermilion line, I think, the little white line that goes around your lips. Mine is like very defined, very there, and it makes it really difficult sometimes to line my lips. So I have to concentrate. Oh my gosh. All right, so now I'm gonna take this lip gloss from the Bronze collection. This is Tan Nude. It is the lightest shade of the 3 that they released for this collection. I've actually really been liking these glosses. The darkest one is a little bit too dark for me, but the other 2 I really like. Also, I really like the formula of this. It's very much like that. I don't know when they started doing the kind of like balm meets lip gloss kind of deal. I don't know how I missed that was now a trend, but I guess I did miss the memo, and now that I figured it out, I'm really on board. So I actually really like the consistency of this. So as you can see, that does make the lip more neutral, but you can still kind of see that little bit of the pink peeking through from using that rose colored lip liner. So I really like this lip just because with everything else going on, I did feel like it needed just a little bit of something that had like a rose tone to it. All right guys, this is the finished look. I absolutely love this look. This eye look, actually, I use this same, like all these same steps with many different palettes. You can literally just take the same exact steps and use different palettes, different color families to kind of achieve this same general look. I think it's a really good kind of just traditional smoky cat eye to have kind of in your arsenal. I have been absolutely loving this collection. I love the bronziness of this. It feels very summery to me. I feel like this is a great look for blue eyes, a great look for really any color eyes, and I really like that kind of elongated, sultry shape. I hope that you enjoyed this video and this look. Please let me know in the comments below what videos you would like to see next. Until next time, you can always chat with me down there in the comments and also over on Instagram. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, please take care of yourself. Bye.